Stand to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So we are going to seat Angel and Nick as regular members tonight. Thank you. Are there any... I just looked at the minutes. I didn't see any. Does anybody have any corrections to the minutes?
Nope.
That anyone? All right, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I move.
I'll second. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the June 11th, 2024 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion passes unanimously. Right, so we have general business. George, do you want to, is there anything you want to?
Yeah, I just
Set
have a
us
couple
up.
slides to orient you.
Okay.
And then Stephanie Ma is here on behalf of the applicant.
Okay.
So just, yeah, so this is an application on behalf of Roskier Farm and the homeowners association. And it's an interesting one in that it's not one you see very often, but it is a modification to the original approved subdivision. And the applicant is proposing to modify the subdivision by removing a 2.5 acre parcel from the subdivision, as well as removing its designation as a quote-unquote pasture parcel, which was done at the time of approval. So if I could just, so this is a kind of the GIS version of the Roskier Farm. And it's not the, it is not the approved subdivision per se, but it is Roskier Farm. It is on East it borders East Weetog, but access is really by Lucy Way, past, as you kind of go past Riverside Drive.
Yeah.
Your access is kind of down here and then up and through. But so this is the property, the parcel in question. This was, Roskier Farm is about 100-acre development, 100+ acres. It included both a private open space parcel of 20-some-odd acres and then a publicly dedicated open space parcel to the 30. So it was a significantly open space stuff. So these are large lots, I think 17 lots, 18, something like that. Large lots, 3-acre lots, 2 acres to 3.5, 4-acre lots. So large lots. There's a barn complex in the front of the property that you can kind of see from Weetog, and there is this, as I said, pasture parcel. Let's definitely talk about perhaps what the intent of that originally was, but the request is to remove it from the subdivision, and then this is the approved subdivision. I just wanted to show you what it kind of had to piece it together. It's in 3 parts in our old files. Again, a 1985 subdivision. So again, this is here are the lots, public open spaces here, private open spaces here, and again, just a different orientation. But here is here's the parcel.
George, is there a technical definition of pasture parcel?
There's not. So it is. Well, let's definitely hit that with the legal side. But
Sure.
but it was designated as a pasture parcel. It wasn't a numbered building lot, but it was not dedicated to the town for open space purposes.
Right.
It was called a parcel lot. And my understanding from talking to Stephanie's one of Stephanie's partner, Lou Jordan, was that it might have been considered literally, to allow horses who may have been part of the large lot subdivision at the time use that parcel. I'm not sure it's ever been used for that purpose. Again, just a quick orientation. We are looking north. The red house on the corner is the corner at Riverside, and so this is the parcel. It's really on the west side of East Weetog, and it's kind of you can see it with the fencing. It's essentially an overgrown. It's an overgrown. And then, of course, the applicant submitted a subdivision plat, if that's where the commission goes. So I would I guess I would just turn it over to the applicant.
So
Okay.
I can ask any questions.
HOA.
No, I would love to hear, so thank you.
No, the land to the west of that lot, who owns that? Is it still the
I think it's
Rosedale?
K Mead, I think.
So the land,
Down there.
to the west
You can do
Yeah.
it private.
Towards
is
the
owned
river.
by this, in fact, I think it's owned by
Yep.
this property owner.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
this property owner. Mr. Mead?
I think it's the wife.
So they're gonna need access so that they can.
Well, I
they
think
have
maybe we can have her, yeah, so.
I'll address, yeah, I'll be happy to address that. Again, my name is Stephanie Ma. I'm an attorney with the law offices of Hassett and George. We are here on behalf of Roscoe Farm Owners Association. George gave an excellent overview already, so thank you so much, George. But yes, we're here to request approval of our application to modify the subdivision. That's the pasture parcel. As you can see, it's already kind of naturally not part of the subdivision. It's not integral. It was intended for all the owners' horses. It would have been a great place for their horses to run. It was never used that way. No one has horses. And so it's just never been used that way. So for that reason, our client, the association, is seeking to remove it. And the primary reason of it not also is part of it's just not being used, but also the proceeds would go towards helping to maintain the property they do have. Namely, there's those historical barns, those structures. They are in need of maintenance and upkeep. So the proceeds would go towards that and some of the common areas that they have. As part of this application, I know there's some question about the neighbor, which is actually great because there's actually already an agreement for the neighbor to purchase the property. So in my eyes, that's a great benefit to the neighborhood because the neighbor, Mr. Brad Mead, there is an agreement that, assuming this is granted, that he'll purchase the parcel. And it's, he's actually kind of already using it. There's some encroachments on it on his lawn, and you'll see on the survey some nice apple trees. So he'll just continue to use it and maintain it. We are requesting that we remove the pasture parcel because, again, it was a designation purely for the association so that they don't build on it, and it's for their horses to pasture. So that's really the request for it. And to be able to sell it to Mr. Mead is kind of a boon for the community because then you kind of ensure that there's a person who lives there rather than a third party to maintain the nature and character of the neighborhood. So that is our request. It doesn't really affect any open space as discussed by George. Again, it was really just for horses that just never materialized. So we are requesting respectfully that the committee grant this application so that we can proceed with the sale.
So if he purchases the parcel, though, he could turn around and put in an application to sell it, and they could put a house
It
there.
could be, it's a buildable lot.
But for how- yeah.
If you approve their request, it would be just a regular lot.
Yeah.
Vacant,
So he
5,
could-
7 acres.
What is the zone at currently?
Or
R40?
So it
So
could, and most probably, eventually will be developed further.
Yeah, I mean,
My-
carved out behind his house, but yeah.
Yeah, my
Would that
question
be
is,
our
is there
subdivision?
any information as to, because you mentioned that it was actually the Planning Commission back in 1986 that designated it as a pasture, so there
Yeah,
must
I
have
mean, it
been.
was, I think the applicant proposed it, I think they proposed the subdivision in that manner.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
wondering
know.
what the discussion
So
was,
I went back
what the
and-
back and forth, what that you do this, I do
So I
that.
went back and read the minutes and I got nothing out of the minutes
Yeah.
from 1986 that indicated.
It's probably just a selling feature of the development.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
And like you
listen,
said,
the barns
use
are
it to
across,
horse,
they cross the
Yeah,
street.
I think
go to
they really
pasture.
wanted horses. They had nice barns.
Yeah.
It's right there, so, yeah.
And that's pretty far removed from all those homes on Lucy Way that are part of Roscoe Farms. Those are up on the hill.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is down on the
Yeah.
flatlands. Are there any tax implications to changing it, to removing pasture parcel?
Why ask the lawyer that question?
There will still be taxes, obviously, when it's conveyed.
I mean, I think that the association pays taxes on it now, but
Yes, it's taxed right now, I believe, so.
there'll be more taxes paid
Yeah, if it goes to a
if
building
structure
lot.
goes up.
Have we heard from any of the abutters about this? Because, that.
So this is so remember the
It's right.
subdivision process, right? So there's no notification to abutters when you do a subdivision. I mean, if somebody came in with a 50-lot subdivision, there's no notification. Notification is on the agenda. So it's only the re-subdivision process that has a public notification process. So this does not. So we have not heard from them.
So if the new owner were to slice off that back lot and ask to put that with his and then sell off the square that's left, that would be a public where an abutter would come in?
No, that's probably a lot line adjustment. I don't think that
And
that's
so
something you
the
would
butters
see.
get no say.
For the first time they did it.
But
right,
why
off
should they?
second.
But there's nobody
See, that's
there.
So if they did it twice,
There- it's
that's
a-
when
it's-
the butters would
it's
get notified, right? Not the
Oh,
first time.
no, I mean, if there was a
I'm
creation of
willing to
a
say it
new
may
parcel,
Right.
then there wouldn't be if you just essentially
Cut it
erase
back.
that or, change the lot line.
Someone
Right.
cares about the town, I care about the butters.
I feel it's their property and they can do it. But-
Right, yeah.
And win-win,
Yeah.
the abutters.
I mean, there's houses along there. Do you know, I mean, if you go, I mean, it's,
That's along the stretch.
there's all along the stretch, and then there's, yeah.
Change the
it wouldn't, I agree,
No.
I don't think it would. No. Maybe you'd let the neighbors pick the apples, too.
I'm not exactly sure what your criteria for review is on this, and it's not, it's a modification of the subdivision, doesn't meet the requirements of the subdivision, is frankly what it is, but I would just add, for any buildable lot, this is in the Weetown Historic District, so any construction would go through
The
the historic district
Yeah.
process,
Process.
which is a public process.
Yep.
A certificate of appropriateness, and a fairly lengthy and robust review process for building materials and design. And those kinds of
And we
things.
did approve a subdivision just south of there, on the same street on the east side,
I guess.
2 years ago. We did that.
Two, back to back, didn't we?
Oh, that's
couple.
right. I
Yeah,
forgot
okay,
about
okay,
that.
it was-
We're filling that
They're the
out.
nice farmhouses that
Yeah,
are.
down to the
new.
left.
Yeah, down to-
Yes,
yeah.
down to the left.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Does anybody have any more questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Does anybody want to make a motion?
Like I did put a motion on.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
It's up,
Draft motion.
you can,
Right up there.
it's right up there.
No, man. Moved. The planning commission approves PC 24-03 Roskier Farms, East Weetog Road, an application on behalf of the Roskier Farm Homeowners Association applicant and owner for a subdivision modification to remove a 2.57 acre parcel from the subdivision and remove its designation as a pasture parcel, based on a finding that the request is consistent with the town subdivision regulations and subject to the subdivision plan dated March 27, 2024, prepared by J. Maher, land surveyor.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the draft motion as read by Commissioner Colantonio, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Opposed? Any abstentions? So the motion carries 5-1. Thank you.
Okay. The only other item we had, should I catch this? We had recently, we have had our first meeting of the POCD Plan Implementation Committee. And that was several weeks ago.
2 or 3 weeks ago, yeah.
We kind of walked through, just generally purpose and intent, we didn't get into too much. We just kind of introduced these are the action items, and this is, what these different groups are charged with in terms of their leadership or their responsibilities, and kind of reached out to those individual groups. Can you prioritize those things that, and we would ask you to prioritize those things. So the zoning commission has done some prioritization. The town has done some prioritization related to the budget process, if you think about the things that are assigned. And then for the others, it would be staff's responsibility to reach out, which is, can we reach out to the sustainability folks who have a bunch of stuff, ask them if they haven't already, and maybe Holly can do that.
Yeah, that's
right. Ask them, and then really, now we just want to hear the report back. What did you prioritize? But that led us to the question of, what are the things that are assigned to this group? Yeah, really, you do all of the, the policy development and the action plan development, and essentially assign these responsibilities to others. And so I just wanted to show you. I don't know how lengthy a discussion this is going to be, because I don't think it's going to be.
Can I say before we get into, I was really happy, just to report to everyone that everyone that was assigned a lot of people asked to be assigned to the implementation from like the economic development and zoning or whoever. And it was really a good group, and it was, I thought, a really good meeting. I mean, people were very invested in this process and holding everyone's kind of feet to the fire to making sure we're moving ahead with what we put in the POCD. So I was really excited. I think Bill was there, and we talked after. So just to let people know, it was. I think this is going to be an interesting process and will help kind of inform us moving forward. So sorry, Drew. I just
So
wanted to.
your POCD action items, the ones in red, the other three are kind of, sense of the world kind of things. We want to make, your job is to always monitor the POCD to make sure it's still relevant and valid, and and if something comes up where you need to change, you go through a, amendment process. And so that's always an ongoing responsibility. We, because we now have a plan implementation committee, we will do an annual report that says, to the best of our ability, all these items that were assigned, these are the ones that the different folks have got. So remember, it's a 10-year plan. There's no expectation that it's all going to be done in 1 year at all. It's going to be done over time. And so, but we're going to put a real reporting mechanism in place. A report done by staff, given to you for your blessing and approval. It'll be published. I think probably it should be published under your name.
Yeah.
The Planning Commission's report on implementation or something like that. I think it's your job to do that, based on some reporting of the plan implementation committee. But it's your document. I think it's your job to report to the community, process and successes or failures or whatever. And then finally, the action items that you've assigned yourself are really our long-range neighborhood plans. That's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So you decided to do Tarryville first. That's going to kick off for us in earnest in 2 weeks.
Doesn't that by default make those next three 2025 items because we talked about the budget?
Yeah, so these were all, they were really all jumped into year one, and then I don't know that you're certainly welcome to try and prioritize them now. I don't think you have to. I think I would recommend, so remember, so it's Tarryville, Weetah, Hoskins or the North Village, West Street, West Simsbury, which I'm not sure why that's not on there.
I think we said not to. I didn't think we were going to tackle West
We
Simsbury.
take that off?
We did.
Okay.
I thought.
Good, that's good remembrance.
Yeah, no, I thought we did, yeah.
I think you'll get to that, once we're done with Tarryville, based on funding and based on all that, we'll make a decision, and that's going to be, it'll probably really end up being late 25, 26, really.
And didn't we talk about combining some of them too? Like
We did,
maybe
I
we
think-
talk in West Street or
We have to
whatever?
have a bigger conversation about how to do that,
Yeah.
and I don't know that, I'm not ready to have that conversation.
I'd like to see how the Tarryville process
Yeah, I think
goes.
we'll know a lot
Yeah.
more
Don't
after
you
we
think?
do our
Yeah.
first one.
I totally do.
Yeah.
I really do. So I think that shortens the discussion of your implementation. You've chosen what implementation item you've prioritized, and that's the Tarryville plan.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only other one on that list we could hit, and I think the zoning commission's already done the last one, haven't they? Didn't they pass something recently?
Yeah, so they haven't.
Oh, okay, I thought
Um,
my mistake.
They haven't yet because it's on their plate. Yeah, so that's something, I don't know, it's probably not really even appropriate in your subdivision regulations. It ought to be in the zoning
Yeah.
regulations, but we're gonna put together yes, the zoning commission prioritized, there were 25 recommendations for the zoning commission in the draft plan. And they have prioritized about 5 of them to start work on from now till the end of the year. And those are, to an issue, they are housing related. They are either an effort to revise certain elements of the zoning regulations that we have, or to introduce new items, all in an attempt to reduce barriers to housing affordability and accessibility and inclusivity and all those kinds of things. One of them is the requirement for a minimum affordability percentage, and that will be in that package.
Yeah.
Staff plans to get that package and draft to them in September. We committed to getting them the draft in September, and so they will review it in September and hopefully go to get it to the planning commission for review and recommendation as always required, and perhaps a early fall or a fall public hearing on that. That's going to include maybe rewriting, introducing new zoning regulations for smaller lots, fixing our kind of mixed use or our kind of, we've got a workforce housing overlay that doesn't really work. So fixing that, essentially to allow an applicant to come in with a zoning change and a special permit or a special exception to do townhouses somewhere or attached units somewhere or a mix of those things. Again, we don't have, that tool does not exist today in our zoning regulations, so that tool needs to exist. And again, there will be a public process and all those kinds of things, but it allows for some reducing some barriers to infill development. And there's some other items we're kind of talking about.
Will there be any duplication of work for them if the TerraFill study comes back with different zoning designations? Or are they going to try to tackle it before?
So the TerraFill plan, the way we have agreed on the proposed scope of study is for them to make recommendations on necessary changes, not to do a change process.
Okay.
So what we'll get is we'll get those recommendations and we will bring those recommendations to the zoning commission.
That's what I mean, like, is zoning going to have to do duplicative work if they're working on their zoning items now, and then TerraFill comes in and says, hey, we've got all these changes for zoning? Like, I don't know if there's...
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe, but I'm not sure how duplicative it will
Okay.
be. And if it is, then I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
It's always it's a living document.
Seems
And-
unavoidable at some point.
I'm sure you will guide them if they're spending a lot of time in TerraFill zoning.
Yeah. Well, but we expect some recommendations from to come out of the TerraFill plan, even if it's just a zoning category that helps to make all those lots not non-conforming anymore.
Right.
Right.
Again, the smallest lot size we have in our community is our 15, and that's 15,000 square foot lots, and those are still quarter-acre suburban lots. And TerraFill is a little bit more urban than that. Semi-urban. It's more dense. That's
Yeah,
better way to
more
say it.
dense,
It's just
yeah.
more dense.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's fair.
that's a good question though.
So, yeah, Holly, I think one of the ones was would you meet with sustainability, right? Yeah, to see the next time you're with them to see what,
If you can ask them that question,
Yeah.
which is, can you or have you prioritized
Right.
those items assigned?
yeah.
And if so, could you report back to us on what you're working
And
on?
in all fairness, the only person who's been holding that up is me, because I've been out of town, I've been missing the last
Oh,
few
no,
weeks.
but that's-
If you could do
Yeah,
that.
because we just met, the implementation group just met, so that's what,
okay, okay.
just 3 weeks ago, so that's
Okay.
what,
And
yeah.
Aaron,
Because
if you would-
I'll actually they'll have a meeting in 2 days, and I won't be able to make it, I'll be out of town. But I'm gonna
Well,
tell them
send
that
Mark
we'll
an
set it
email.
up
Send
for,
Mark an email, you
Okay.
could
Send
even,
Mark an email.
oh,
That
yeah.
might even be better.
Our next
Okay.
implementation meeting isn't what, it's the end of September.
Mark probably already
you
has the
sent me a
board
copy
It's
of
not
this,
done
right?
already.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Well, we already started
No,
on
no,
one,
no.
they already started off the.
Yeah, they
No,
were
well,
really
and I
excited.
think-
Believe me, yeah.
they were
Like,
good.
we found out a lot of,
The question I
them
have,
have, so.
you sent me a copy of this, right? Remember, I think,
Yes, and I just recently sent you a second copy. You want another one?
I'm a bad person. No, I'll find it, If you send them.
It's you know where it is? It's in your Dropbox, too. It's in the Dropbox. So just go to an old Dropbox link and pull it up.
Like tonight.
Like today's
Yeah,
job.
yeah, and I can just.
Oh, no, not actually, I don't think it's in today's. I'll send it to you.
Well, I pulled it out of today's. I mean, it's in today's.
Oh, it is? All right, well, there you go.
okay.
Oh, I broke.
Yeah, it's not broken, it's okay.
Oh, it's collapsed.
And then Aaron, I would ask
Oh, look at
you
that.
to, I know they don't have a long list, but open space. Since you-
Yeah,
you
I was
sit on
just
that.
trying, I don't
I know
think they
you-
met,
And
yeah,
I've asked Brittany to do Conservation Commission.
yeah.
Again, they're probably done too.
I think open space only has
We've
one.
done some of it already.
I think open space
I
only
think
has
they do
one.
too.
It's only one, but, we could, yeah.
Sure.
So it's like, that would be their priority, but I know they're working on other stuff too, so, okay. Yeah, I think we said the second meeting in September, we were trying to keep some regularity. So, yeah, so it's not until the end of September that we're meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for that first item, in terms of scheduling a meeting, I mean, before the end of the year, there's probably not gonna be much in the way of measurable progress, but I mean, I think we could probably put it as close to the end of the year as we can, if we wanna schedule it now, or at least consider, because I mean, if the second meeting of that group's not even until September, to your point.
Yeah, I think I would do it next, like, because our first meeting was June.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do it in this calendar year because we'll only have met a couple times,
Yeah.
right? I
I
mean,
just say end of the year because I'm thinking,
Oh.
I was thinking calendar-wise.
You could do
we-
fiscal.
We could do it anytime we want.
you could do end of the fiscal.
But even so, you know, even the fact that we're having these discussions is something we haven't done in the past.
Right.
You know, there are several action items that have already been acted on. I mean, the Board of Selectmen created a housing advisory committee.
That's
literally, you know, one of the priority items that the Board of Selectmen thought.
Yep.
So I get your point. We'll figure that out in the, you know, maybe first quarter, even later first quarter.
Yeah.
Because we. Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
just-
adopted it in January, that's why I was looking at
Oh.
the one-year report, which is kind of what we've done. Yeah, I don't know, I think just
You
even
could.
these discussions
Yeah.
could be reported on, but we can talk
Okay.
about that.
That's fine.
I mean, less work for me, put it off. It's fine. Yes, July 23rd,
That's the one.
5 p.m. We will do a site walk
Yeah.
around Terriffill.
How many miles?
10.
Just being silly if I wear sneakers or
We
not.
will walk in shoes.
Okay.
Have golf carts?
Say,
You
sir?
can borrow a couple of golf carts from the country club.
Drinks are on me at the Cracker Barrel after, how's that?
See?
Where are we meeting?
This is a group you're working
The
with.
greens.
I think for the sidewalk, we'll probably meet at the gazebo would make sense, or I'll give you a full itinerary when I send it out in next week.
Yeah, that works.
And the meeting
And then we'll
follows,
do
so
a
we
meeting, a
can be
regular
late.
meeting at 7 p.m. with the consultant will be with us on the walk, and then there'll be an agenda item for your regular meeting at 7 p.m. We're going to do that at one of the churches because the school is a little difficult to get to right now.
You know, I know this is gonna sound funny, but does the Cracker Barrel have like a private room?
See?
So
You
it's
know
gotta
where
be-
this
it's
is
gotta be open
going.
to the public. It's got to be.
But they could come, no?
Yeah.
I don't know if
Well,
they have,
why
I don't know
would
if they have a room.
We're going to be at the church.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I've already tried this before you got here.
Oh,
I've
okay.
already booked. Oh yeah,
Try.
we booked the Methodist church. You said.
I think it's a Methodist
Yeah.
church or something. I
They've
know.
got a
it-
hall. They've got a
Trinity
finished-
Episcopal?
Is the,
Is it the
Trinity
Episcopal
Episcopal.
on Church
Yeah,
Street?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
they do a lot of,
I'll let you know.
they open it
the
up
walk
for
is
like-
more.
Is that the
or
one
less
on
a public
Church, right
meeting.
up the road?
It's in the same
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
right?
okay. I
So,
thought it was
so,
Methodist,
so
but-
anytime you're together, it is a public meeting. It is, so if people wanted to walk with us. They
All right, I mean, I was thinking
Be
more,
cool.
you know,
Yeah.
Come on,
people
come
in
on.
the neighborhood that we're walking through, not understanding why there's all these people that are not familiar with walking through the
No, we'll
neighborhood.
tell them. We'll tell
Right,
them.
I
It's a
mean,
friendly place.
So we've
Well, I
let
mean-
somebody
It really-
let the neighborhood association
I was gonna say,
know
There's one
already.
place I want to stop where the guy really had
So
some
we
points
have,
to make.
just so everybody knows, so we've
Campaign.
already been in contact with the neighborhood association and let them know we're gonna be doing this. They're welcome to join us,
right,
as it is a public meeting, and it's not, this is not one of those, usually sidewalks make me very nervous with boards and commissions, because typically we're doing them as part of a public hearing process. This is different, we're walking with people, so you can talk to people, you can take information, there's no shackles to me. And we'll be lucky if 2 people walk with us. So we'll do
I
that.
guess some
and then
people
we'll
from
go
the
back and-
association might walk.
we're organizing stakeholder meetings for earlier in that day. This consultant will meet with some select individuals and business folks, neighborhood association, property owners, and do some questions and answers to those guys.
Are you guys with them, staff with them too?
We are not.
Oh,
We
okay.
tend not to to have staff involved.
Okay,
Let them just be able to kind of speak freely and
Okay,
interview people
yep.
without worrying.
good.
So there you go.
Sounds good.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Then again, September will be the first big public meeting. We haven't set that date yet, towards the end of September. And that'll be a public open house where we'll talk about the survey that'll be out. The survey will hopefully be out in mid-August. And there's, again, consultant on the 23rd is going to walk you through these early steps.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's all I have.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of work.
Quite some.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody have any questions, comments?
Any updates on Iron Horse, the apartment complex? There's pipes on the ground, but
I don't have any update on Iron Horse. Some infrastructure has been moved onto the site, they've done some site grading. I understand they're prepping to begin to install site infrastructure, stormwater, that kind of stuff.
Raising Cane's is almost open. That's Simsbury's.
What about
Yeah.
the old
Oh.
Wagner building? Any progress
My
on
son, he's all excited.
My niece
that?
and
I
nephew.
think last time we were here.
So no, I have
That's
no
what I
update on,
I think the parking lot
on
is
Wagner.
gonna be crazy.
Is there,
I have reached out to
it's Chick-fil-A.
the owner's rep,
Everything's better.
within the last week, in fact.
yeah,
I have not heard back.
I think you had mentioned last time something about possibly a blight citation or something like that. Is that still, I'm just asking because it was brought up last time. I don't know where it is.
It's a
We
potential option,
Yeah,
already going to
okay.
develop that.
but once we get into that process,
Right,
it's
yeah.
long and convoluted and lawyers get involved and
Okay.
doesn't usually speed the process.
Dumb question. I thought they were going to develop that.
Right.
Well, there obviously have
already-
been some delays. I'm not exactly sure what all the delays have to do with it. It could be a million different things. So, I don't know.
Oh, so you're just trying to find out what the status is,
Yeah,
because
correct.
we approved all that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Raising Cane's hopes to open first
Next
week
week?
of September. Yeah,
Oh,
first week of September.
oh, okay.
I think somebody else is next week, the coffee shop. It's this week.
Oh yeah,
So-
Cap's moving
Yeah,
to
next to
the old
Antonio's.
Dunkin' next to Antonio's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that opened
Oh, is that where-
I
yesterday.
think it was today.
Okay.
Today.
Or
Today's-
one or the other.
Oh, I thought recently somebody
Yes,
else said it was
the eighth.
opening this month. Okay.
Oh, well, that's not what I was told. but-
Okay. Well, you
So
went
that's
in.
going into Caps.
They're gonna start training.
I don't know.
I think they got their CO. They probably get ready to start training.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Okay, that might
But
be it.
really
Okay.
expensive
All right,
leasehold
cool.
improvements that they're not going to get out.
All right. Any other questions? All right, so without objection, I will adjourn the meeting at 7:33. Is that right?
Thank you. Yes, it
Thank
is.
you.
All right.
You're at the end.